Hi, well, I guess I'm live now. I'm the only one that's waiting for myself. I think that's funny. Well, let me get started because I didn't want to make long videos anymore. I find that even my attention span when I'm watching other people's videos, if it says an hour and 40 minutes long, I'm like, oh, all right, it'll probably be a cool one. So I'll put it in my watch later list, right? And then I never end up getting around to it until I'm extremely put in my watch later list, right? Bored. And then I never end up getting around to it. Holy cow. Stop. Okay, I don't know why that started. But anyway, that's okay. I don't need to hear myself or whatnot. Nobody's watching but me. It's all right. And I'm really sorry about every time well, I guess there's somebody watching here. There's 3 watching. But I'm sorry that it takes me a little bit longer to get set up. My refrigerator is on the fritz right now, and I know exactly what's wrong with it. So it's kind of low on Freon, so it's low on refrigerant, which is making the coil freeze, and it froze up my evaporator coil fan inside the box. But anyway, so I'm just using it now. Rather than remove everything and put it into an ice chest, I'm turning it into an ice chest by taking the bottom freezer compartment, freezing water, and throwing it up in there. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, now this is a big one. This is a big one that I think is important for people to think about. Okay, I'm not going to suggest that I'm right about anything, even though I believe that I am right about a lot of stuff. So let's look at the matrix. Okay, in a matrix of lies, truth doesn't exist. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because since we were born into this construct. Okay, so it's like being born into a Monopoly game. Okay, so we're playing Monopoly, right? And the whole system is set up for you to understand the game of Monopoly. Okay, when we live in a world of lies where pretty much everything has to be a lie, as long as everything is a lie, well, then the truth doesn't have a place. Hey, boy. And what I mean by that is if you were playing a game of Monopoly and you have a chess piece, a queen, bishop, rook, whatever, right? And you try to use that in the game of Monopoly, it won't work, will it? No, because it's a completely different construct. It's a box. This is what I always hated about chess. See, chess is one of the most brainwashing freaking games that you can imagine. You've only got those, 5 pieces to the game of chess? Well, you got your queen, your king, your rook, your knight, your bishop, and pawn. Okay, 6 pieces, right? You got those 6 pieces, but you're playing within a box. And each piece has its own purpose and its own way of moving and all of these types of things, right? So they're it's part of a program. And how you manipulate the program within this box. I don't like the game of chess. I never have. I could always see that it's really kind of making people keep on forming these boxes inside their head. And my goal has always been not to outthink people, even though it's kind of like doing that. But I like to see what box they're in, try to understand that box that they're describing and what they live in, and then expand it and say, okay, let me see what more I can see in this box. So in the matrix of lies, the truth doesn't have a place. This is what frustrates me inside my home, is that when I bring more things into the home that don't have a home of their own within my home, a place to put them, I get frustrated because I'm like, oh crap, now where do I put this? Where do I fit this in? My closet's taken up, and it would make most sense to put it in the closet, but I can't put it in the closet because the space is taken up. So now I have to figure out, okay, where do I put it? Where do I put it? Oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by all this stuff. And it gets frustrating because it doesn't have a home for whatever I'm bringing in. And it's the same way with ideas. When our construct and our and this is what I'm saying, is that when you focus on the foundations, when you focus on the construct, the foundation of the construct, you're focusing on, you know, the manipulations, the lies. I mean, it's different when you find a truth, because when you find a truth, there is no place for the truth within this construct. It's like having a chess piece while you're playing the game of Monopoly. It has no place, and you're not going to be able to find a place for it. So the truth doesn't exist in this life. And I was really disappointed. I was watching Dr. Sten Ekberg, Ekberg, Sten, first name. And I really like this guy because he talks great about the keto diet and explains things, the way the body really works. Problem is, he's only partially there. He's not really thinking about how the body really works through energy, frequency, and vibration. In my next video, and I'm just going to cut these short. I'm just going to make these short videos because, you know what, people don't have the attention span any more than I do. Okay, so when I see a video that's too long, I'm like, I don't have really time for that, or I just want to get little bits and pieces. So that's what I want to do right now. So what I'm trying to suggest is that when we continue to look outside of the box, yet we're presented with a box to live within, then there is no place for us to live. In other words, even if we could get out to Antarctica, that big old wall around us, right? Little ice wall, big ass ice wall surrounding us. And believe it or not, yeah, that makes way more sense than that little continent that we can't ever circumnavigate through. So, but anyway, well, then we don't know what's beyond that. And when we come across truths, they will not fit inside the box that they put us in. The way the body works is not what they're suggesting. I'll give you an example, and I'm going to put it in my next video. It's vitamin D. What is vitamin D? If you can get it from the sun, and that's what we get it from, right? Our eyes and the sun. And they convince us that, oh, yeah, you get it through your skin too. Bullshit. I'll explain why in my next video. But so you look at the sun and the sun's energy, those rays, that radiation goes to your eyes, and somehow they say, oh, you get vitamin D from the sun, as if it were something. But what is it? Is it light? Well, how can light be a vitamin? Oh, no, the light produces a vitamin. No, the light produces a reaction in our body that they like to call a vitamin. But you're receiving it as energy. But anyway, and a pill has no energy. So you can, it expends energy in your body. So it's always, everything is a game of frequencies. It's all a war of frequencies. That's all life is. That's all anything is. It's a war of frequencies. So you've got frequencies, you've got energy, frequency, vibration. So you have sound and light, which manifest into different forms with the electromagnetism and the dielectric. So that's what holds everything together, right? Well, anyway, again, that's outside of the box that they put us in. So even Dr. Sten Ekberg was talking about how, well, the best way to keep yourself safe from the corona, you know what I mean, right, is to do this, 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 and that. And he completely boop, because he's still stuck on the fact that there is something that exists. Just like vitamin D. Vitamin D doesn't exist. There is no vitamin D. There is no vitamin C. There's only reactions to what you put into your body, and then your body reacts, and then they look at the reaction and they call it a name. But that's all they're doing. They're calling it a name. And it obfuscates our ability to see what it is that they're talking about, or the way things really are with energy, frequency, and vibration, and how it is a war of frequencies and pressure. Pressure. Everything has its own pressure, right? So it's a war of frequencies. And when we start to realize this, we will realize how absurd germ theory is and everything else. It's obvious. It's like when you recognize the Crown Corporation owns the world and has owned the world and has been manipulating us through all these fake wars and everything else, just to keep on, producing work and effort to create an underground world that they can escape to during the next cataclysm, well, then all of a sudden you look differently at all the politicians. Now remember, Max Planck, he said that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's changing perceptions. Even Shakespeare said, nothing is either good or evil, but thinking makes it so. So if they can control what you think, they can control how you perceive good and evil and what's right and wrong and what's true and what's not true. So it's all a manipulation. It's all a manipulation. So in a world that's built on lies, the truth doesn't have a place to exist. It has to exist here, but even you have to question that because none of us know the ultimate truths to really anything. We can point out all day long, like most of the YouTubers do, the channels, they'll point out the lies again and again and again. And I didn't want to be part of that. I did not want to be one of those to just mimic what everybody else is doing. And I have my favorites. I have Brian Young at High Impact Flicks that I watch for all of my news, pretty much my current events, news, bad cop videos, and everything else. I got a whole playlist on bad cops. But at the end of the day, I want to offer the opportunity for people to possibly see something differently, to change the way you think just for a moment, and then see if you think differently after that, if you feel differently. And it's not about feelings or whatnot. The way people can be controlled is always through greed and fear. And when people get a little bit of both, greed and fear, like what religions offer you, well, then they don't want to turn back. You don't take away their Santa Claus. You already did it once when they were kids. Shoot. They found out you were lying about this man that gave them gifts every year and made them all excited to get up in the morning and go look at their free spoils. And you took that away from them. Damn it, they're going to make sure you never take something else away from them. You took the Easter Bunny away from you. You took all this BS, and you left a few of them, and they're going to cling on to those the most. So anyway, getting back to a matrix. Now, let's see here. Let's see what some people are saying here. We got Dylan. Right on, Dylan. Good to see you again, buddy. And I've got a boy, Namasu, Nabitsu. Been a while. Yeah, I do not like to do a lot of videos. I'm not going to run out. I'm looking at bigger things to talk about that nobody else is talking about, like how the body possibly really works on top of what these idiots in virology and everything else want to brainwash you and program you to believe. There's Dr. Judy Mikovich or whatever her name is. Oh my God, put her in front of a firing squad. The rocks will fall on them in their bunkers. Those bunkers will be their tomb, Dylan says. Hi, Steve Carter. Yeah, you know what, Dylan? The thing is, as above, so below. You can interpret that in so many different ways. It's not even funny. I always thought of this. If when we die, the electromagnetic sphere of influence created by pressure mediation from your heart through the electromagnetism stops. When your heart stops, boom, right? Everything inside your body will now lose its life source, okay? So there's only so much time before all of the different parts of your body end up becoming consumed. They consume one another, they eat one another until finally they all run out of energy to eat and they're dead, and you're dead. It's the same with our food. That's why preserving a food is very much like preserving a body to be with formaldehyde to be shown at the funeral, right? What animal will eat that body? Not a single one. There is no life source in that body whatsoever at all. But on top of the physical part of it, our consciousness that is maintained or is controlled and encapsulated inside all of our body through all of the water molecules that hold the memory, they no longer have containment. The heart, that's a frequency. It's turning up the volume and constantly playing the elevator music of your body. So all of this is going on. And when it stops, Now it's not, there is no pressure holding it in, and it dissipates into the ether. Some people like to call it God. Some people like, through greed and fear, they want to make sure that they have what they believe they should get. And that's always part of greed. It's always like, oh, I want to believe in this, I want to believe in that because I get something from it. And what I have noticed, that anytime there is ultimate truths, the truth has never been able to control me, and I have never been able to control anybody else with the truth. Ever. Ever. Because if you tell them the truth about something, there's no way to con them. There's no way to get them to fall behind you, even as I'm talking to you right now. You know, I believe I know some truths. I believe I can understand some of the questions of the universe, of what creates everything, and what pressures need to exist in order to keep our consciousness here. And if you think about it, from the beginning, the very beginning of our bloodline, all the way back, who knows how long that goes? Nobody. Not a single person knows. There's pre-civilizations again and again and again. If anything, you could say that the world has been created and recreated, destroyed and recreated billions of times. Nobody knows. We have no idea. We believe, we're led to believe in eternity with religion. We're led to believe in all of these unlimited ideas that we can't comprehend. However, it's, again, we can't comprehend those things. And the reason why we can't comprehend those things is because the box that we've been born into, that box is what controls how we think. So it's the operating system has been hijacked. Remember, we have been fed an Apple operating system, but the truth exists on an Android phone. Okay, so if the truth exists outside of the Apple operating system, how do we operate that truth when we don't have a truthful box? Or that we can't even get outside of the box. We're stuck. We're stuck in this matrix, and they know that. Because every time I think of what's happening, I think of myself and I say, if I were a person that was the greediest person, maybe even fearful, greedy and fearful, the most greedy and fearful person on the in the world, what would I do? And I'm telling you, I can't even think of things half as ingenious as what's going on right now. This stuff is so complex. This stuff is so, man, they are hitting hard. I mean, so hard. And I'm thinking, oh my God, these guys are brilliant, genius. How they've convinced everybody of germs, how they've convinced everybody of politics, how they've convinced everybody of sovereign cities and states and countries. And it's just, it's fascinating, actually. It's fascinating, but it's horrifying, and it's evil, and it makes me sick. And that's why I don't do many videos, and I don't like to script things. But I just wanted you to think about that. I wanted you to think about, what do you think? I wanted you to think about, if do you know where the truth can exist if the foundation is built on lies? If the foundation is built around the game of Monopoly, how can you fit a chess piece into the game of Monopoly and make it work for you in Monopoly? Well, it's not in the rules. It's not in the game. It's not allowed. It's useless in the game of Monopoly. It's a chess piece. It's a different game. A truth is a different game. What you think is the truth, well, you could be just as far off. The older I get, the more I realize how wrong I've always been, and the more I doubt myself now with everything. But there are some things that I have been able to rationalize and think that I figured out, and that is more accurate about how the body would work. And I want to start a new live stream talking about that in just a few minutes. I had to finish up on the refrigerator. Refrigerator went out, so or or it's on its last leg because it's freezing up the evaporator coil inside. I know exactly what the problem is, but I just can't get the refrigerant and put it in there. You know, I probably should, but it's cheaper to call the home warranty, and for 75 bucks, they'll come out here and fix it. Hell, the fan itself that needs to be replaced is 75 bucks or $79. So, but we got to wait 2 weeks for that to happen. So I'm turning it into an ice box by making the ice in the freezer and putting it in the refrigerator part and keeping it cold in there. So I just wanted to end with that right now. I don't want to go any longer than 21 minutes. So you guys have a good one. I'll be back on in another hour or so. And I want to talk about how the body works. And I want to focus on what vitamin D is. If you get it from the sun, then what the hell can it be? How can they put a name to it? And how can they? And that's the whole point, is that they got us thinking that there are things that our body just doesn't do anything with. It's just either in our body or isn't. And that's a fallacy. And that's a lie. And I want to expose it. So I'll see you in a few. All right. Take care, guys. Thanks for participating. Corey, awesome. Yeah, it is fascinating and horrifying all at the same time. It really is. Operation Fishbowl. Exactly, man. I'm telling you. You know, these people, they've lied to us about so much, Dylan. And you guys know it. See, that's why I like those of you who are commenting, Optimistic Prime. Dude, hello. All of you guys, man. I love your comments. You guys are some thinkers, and this is what I really wanted to do. This is why I wanted to create this a community for me. It's kind of a selfish reason, because I started feeling alone all the time. And I feel alone around everybody. Everybody in my immediate that I see every day, they're so out to lunch, it's not even funny. They've all been vaccinated except for, you know, inside my home. But man, they think I'm the dumbass. Whatever. Anyway, we'll talk to you in a few bit, in an hour or so. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your stopping by. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, and look in the description. You know, Brian at High Impact Flicks, I'm sorry to do this to you, Brian, but I'd like to save my subscribers more money. Okay? So, you know that BioTrust stuff? Well, he can get you 51% off. I can get you 71% off, because I play Words with Friends. And in Words with Friends, because of the algorithms, because how tied in it is with everything else, and, you know, I don't mess around with any of the social medias like Facebook and all that. I'm still doing Google searches, and I'm still ordering things online, and Amazon, and they're all tied in. So they offered me on the BioTrust collagen. There's a separate link in the description for 71% off of 6 bags of that. Ends up coming to 90 bucks. And the same 71% off of the the keto diet powder that I have so much of, that I bought when I was watching Brian's videos. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy all that. I put those in the description, and if you guys want to check those out, go ahead. I'm not promoting anything. I don't know if there's a cheaper source. I don't know if Dr. Axe's is better. I've been trying to, and there's a reason why I will believe in perhaps the collagen, okay? And I can explain that in my my medical video that's coming up next. But as far as all these other vitamins, I'll explain why you might want to think differently about them, and the different therapies of alkaline water and all of this other stuff. I believe it's possible that it's a nonsense, but I want your participation, and I want you guys to think about it too, because we're here to find out how to best take care of ourselves. Okay, hope you guys take care. We'll see you in a few hours or in an hour or so. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.